What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bittensor today, TAO USD. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? It is the 6th day of April. Here we are at about $323 right now, up 4% on the day. Nice to see. A little bit of recovery going on. We've got 9 hours left in the day. Let's get into it, okay? I do expect, and I have expected, and been calling for on all of these lows, that TAO will continue to move higher, probably to these levels of anywhere from $460 to $400, something in this range. That is the expectation. I do believe this will be the topping area of this overall move that we've been experiencing since February, and likely from there TAO will sell off and inevitably go below $100. I do believe that will happen. I made that claim back here. I didn't say that we're going below $100 there. I made that claim here. Just the thought that we will move up higher and then inevitably we will go below $100. I don't think TAO's bear market is over. In fact, let's actually look at that real quick. Let's just look at those prospects here. TAO, TAO, TAO B. Goodness gracious. There we go. TAO B. Maybe while that loads, we can do some other stuff. There we go. Okay, TAO B has the all-time history, weekly RSI. So you look at this, and it's pretty clear, at least in my opinion, that that we are going to go lower. I mean, we've got like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bottom. It's not that you can't move higher, but just statistically speaking, I believe we will go lower, and not just lower than this low, but down toward these areas where we found resistance before, and that would take us down, on a weekly closing basis to a weekly wicking basis high, anywhere from $120 to $83. And looking at this kind of first example of a retracement, this low to high here, this little pivot there, the 1272 to the 1618, all of these are appropriate targets in my opinion. Likely whenever we find the low here to the high, whatever the high might be, maybe it's at 420, maybe it's at 440, wherever that high might be, I would expect that this 1272 to 1618 area would also line up with the expected areas. And it all kind of comes in that same zone. We probably don't break below 60 bucks. We probably do go below 120. I would even think probably below $100. That's the kind of stuff that happens in the bear market, right? It's not just percentage drops, but it's psychological warfare too. And the psychological warfare I'm talking about is, imagine how much capitulation would be caused, not when we get to $107, but when we get to $97. It's not that big of a difference, but that psychological significance of breaking through $100, even though we're right here at prior points of resistance and significant levels on the fibs to hold as support, I really do see that happening. And that would make a lot of sense to me, because then we break out of this, we break that, we shift out, capitulation happens, we dilly-dally, we figure ourselves out, and then we're ready for the next bull market to really erupt. I do believe that in the long term, while we're talking about this, let's go over it, I do believe that TAO will see new all-time highs, that TAO will get above $1,000 at some point, and probably even see a multi-$1,000 price in the next cycle. I'm just not of the belief that that's what we're doing now. I believe we will likely make it below $150, $120 even. We'll probably go below $100 before making it above $1,000. Before making it above $1,000, and then after going below those levels, then we will. I do believe both are inevitable at some point. But again, zooming in now, getting into the nitty gritty, the short term stuff. I'm under the perspective that relative to this move here since February, we do have more growth to go. This whole prelude here, this whole long-term stuff before getting to the short-term stuff really helps illustrate the idea that it is a horrible time to invest in TAO. It's a good time, if you want to trade, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, if you want to make this trade off this little position, cool, that's great, but I would even stay away from there, because you're up so much in a market environment in crypto where everything's down or depressed. You're the only shining star. Typically stuff like that, they shine for a reason, and it's not because it's prosperity. It's because it's going to trap you. The smart money got in before you did. You buy in at the high thinking that you're buying a shining star, and really it's just a shooting star crashing down to planet Earth. And well, it will crash. We likely will go back below these lows here, probably in either May, June, or July. If not, maybe July, August, September, something like that. We'll be below these lows. So for the long term, as far as long-term investing goes, I would say red light. For the short term, as far as trading goes, green light, sure, just tight stop losses. And then, if you are buying here for the long term, that's fine. I mean, $324 in a year or two might feel like a smart thing, but in a month or two, it might not. That's all I'm really trying to say. So let's get into the short term stuff. We'll zoom back out. Okay, 1 hour time frame. Looking at this here, volumes coming in. This is good. I mean, you can see here on the Binance chart, TAO USDT. This is the highest traded volume pair on any exchange, on any crypto in the world. Maybe not on any crypto, but any exchange in the world for TAO. This is the highest volume exchange, and as we're dropping off, you can see the volume is just lacking. We're coming up, we're pumping here, and the volume's coming back in. So that does add some legitimacy to this move. We're at points here where we have found resistance, relatively speaking, in the recent days, right? We found some resistance here. We found some support here as well. So finding resistance right there, a little bit of that. But the difference here being up and then down, up and then down, up, and we're still here. We're still here. So I do think, this flirtation will allow us to break through in a matter of no time at all. We probably will return to prices that are back above $340 here, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but soon enough. The 1 hour RSI, stochastics, MACD all together are very bullishly postured right now. They look great. The 4 hour time frame, you're just now getting overbought. Overbought, typically, not always, but typically, overbought behavior does represent a breakout, and to me, that's exactly what seems like is happening here. You're breaking out of this kind of downtrend, volumes coming in. I don't believe that this stops here. Relative to this move here, I don't believe that it stops. You might get some volatility, whatever, but I do believe that this is the signal that the move that's going to take you above this high is coming in. And now that we have that, we can actually take a high here to a low here with some confidence that that's the low, that we likely do go above this high before going below that low. And the Fibonacci retracement level that we get is 405 to 442. And this, extension level, it's not the retracement. This area lines up perfectly. It's completely perfect with our 786, 886 area. From that high to this low here. The 786 is literally at $405 as well. If I zoom out, you can kind of, or maybe zoom in. I don't know what would be better. It says 405, just trust my time. I mean, it's literally, that blue line is literally right there at the 1272. They're overlapping. The 886 is at 463. Maybe we do go above the golden ratio. Maybe we even go above 463. We've seen TAO go above its 886 before. So, anything really in this, like, as crazy as it might sound, $490 to $400 level is acceptable. But I am going to stick with the more conservative and maybe even the more appropriate target, which here would be 405 to 442. That's where I believe we're going to go. That's the area at which I might even consider opening up some shorts and stuff like that. And depending on how things look, it might be a very obvious selling off point. I do expect everybody's going to think that they're geniuses buying up here, screaming for $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, whatever the going rhetoric is, and well, that'll likely coincide with a very significant selling event. I wouldn't be surprised either. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. If we got some good news up here. TAO partners with Bank of America. Because of Bittensor, the Iran war will end and we'll open up the Strait of Hormuz, whatever it might be, whatever the good news is going to be. It's going to be at the top, and that'll also be another signal that we're going to come down. Yeah, we look good though. We look, I mean, for right now, we look good. The MACD looks good. RSI looks good. Stochastics look great. Daily time frame here. The RSI. Yes. I'm sure a lot of people were scared about this bearish divergence, but we already explained how you don't have bearish divergence. You have hidden bullish divergence. You have higher lows with lower lows. It's hidden bullish divergence. And yes, there is bearish divergence, but you can come up and form another drive of that bearish divergence that can correlate directly with a higher high here. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if at the top what we saw was a wick to this price range. And then you close back down, maybe even below $400. You might wick above 400, maybe even all the way up to 440, and in that same day come back down and close below $400. We'll probably get a big wick to the upside to just further exaggerate this bearish divergence on the daily RSI. Because if we were to close, looking at it now, if we were to close at like 440, 460, anything up here, if we were to close the day at that level, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a higher high. But if we're assuming that that's going to be the price target anyways, but we're still going to get another drive of bearish divergence, we'd have to get a lower high here. I would assume then that we wick to these levels and we probably close somewhere below there, if that makes sense. Stochastics, technically, this is a weird area for them to bounce. It is a weird area. So with that being said, there's a possibility where we don't get a higher high. That possibility also exists. Perhaps what we get is a double top, a lower high. That is a possibility as well. And if I see a signal that suggests that we're going to double top and that we're going to come down, I will make that. I'll probably address that at these same prices here. But I don't think that's what's happening. That's not my forecast. The MACD is bullish overall. Yeah, no qualms there. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about. We've covered all the bases. Stochastics look like they want to get overbought. The RSI will probably get overbought as well. The MACD, as soon as it crosses or maybe it gets to the zero, that'll probably be where we find resistance. Looking at this the way that it's shaping up right now, I would assume that by the end of this month of April, maybe even within the next 14 days, we will see this price action come into view of 400 to 450, maybe even as high as 490. But that will likely be the end of it there. That will likely be the point at which we do sell off, the point at which we do come back down, and it won't be like a straight shot down, a panic dump, anything like that. It'll be methodical, it'll be meticulous, but we do look here, we go to TAO B, we look here, and from this relative high, one week later, you were literally down 48%. Pretty intense. Did you drop in 1 week all the way down to this low? No, you worked for it over months to get to that low. But whenever you're at this top here, 1 week later, that low right there, that was 46%, 48%, 46%. 1 week later, actually, I'm sorry, not 1 week later. This was 2 weeks later. 1 week later, you're down 33%, but still, 1 week, 33%. Was it a one fell swoop move all the way down? No, you fought for it. It took months to get down all the way down here, but that initial drop was harsh. It was still very harsh. Same thing over here. Same thing even over here. The initial drop, I didn't draw that on there right, but that initial drop, 2 weeks later, 25%. 25% drop in 2 weeks is kind of harsh. Here from this relative high down, these are smaller movements, but still 29%. And then you got your actual top over here. 1 week later, you were down 34%. 3 weeks later, you were down 51%. Did you just teleport all the way down to this low? No, but this was a little bit more aggressive, a little bit less methodical. All I'm trying to say by this last part here is if we move up to this area, this zone that I'm expecting we go to a lower high, nonetheless, overall, when we find resistance here, we probably see a move that will blow past the current price levels that we're at now. We'll probably blow through wherever that high is. We're just going to go all the way through the 300s and go below $300 in like a week or two. It's going to be a very aggressive move. And if you time it right, I think you can make the most of it. This forecast is why I think anybody who's looking to buy for the long term, you have no business buying here. The buying opportunities are below $200, and likely the best ones will be below 100. But I digress. I've got nothing else, nothing new for you. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.